Junior doctors of Kolkata have declared that they will be continuing their protest against the horrific rape and murder of a young doctor in Kolkata's RG Kaur hospital till justice is done. Remember, it's been a month since the horrific rape and murder took place at the hospital. Now, yesterday, the Supreme Court, which is hearing the matter and is hearing the case about what the government has done so far in the entire case, had said that the junior doctors should return to work by today evening 5 p.m. Saying that all their demands will be taken into account, but that they must also understand that work cannot stop like this, as they have been away from work for a month now. But as you can see there, junior doctors not having it, defying that ultimatum. Let's go across to Saurabh Gupta for more. And Saurabh, the Supreme Court had given this ultimatum of today evening 5 p.m. But the doctors are saying that this is a people's movement, and neither the government nor the Supreme Court should forget that.
Well, you can name it whatever you want. It is a people's movement. There is generally a lot of anger against what has happened at RG Kaur Medical College. There's also concern over safety of doctors, valid concerns. But at the end of the day, the Supreme Court's order is very clear. It addresses junior doctors and it asks them to return to work by 5 p.m. today. A Supreme Court order that junior doctors have indicated that they will defy and they will not return to work. And of course, there will be legal consequences of whatever, defying Supreme Court orders are. But given all of that, there is also a march taking place to the Swasth Bhavan. And the Swasth Bhavan is the Secretariat of the Health Department here. And you can see, of course, the policemen here, they formed a barricade to stop that crowd that's approaching, towards Swasth Bhavan. There's a barricade put up. These protests have been going on. Like you said, the Supreme Court has said, for a month, the Supreme Court has taken cognizance of the demands of the doctors, including security, deployment. There's CISF, at RG Kaur Medical College Hospital. The state government says they've taken several steps. The doctors have challenged the version of the state government. There's also, as far as the number of deaths that have taken place as per the state government's affidavit in the Supreme Court, there is also, doctors have challenged that figure. But at the end of the day, whatever the reasoning may be, whatever the justification may be, it's a Supreme Court order. And if it's a Supreme Court order, it means that it has to be complied with. And there are consequences of non-compliance of Supreme Court orders. Of course, the doctors will have legal recourse. They could perhaps approach the court. But in this case, they don't seem to be going to court, at least until now. What they've clearly indicated is that they will continue their protest in defiance of the Supreme Court orders. It, of course, is something that obviously will play out in the courts as well. But as you can see right now, there are barricades to stop the doctors, the junior doctors who've been joined by others as well from actually reaching the Swasth Bhavan. This is just about a few meters away. They've been allowed to come right up to the Swasth Bhavan. They will be arriving here shortly. And but till then, of course, from here, if they want to go and meet officials, they will be allowed to do so. They will be allowed to send a delegation. But what sources are telling us that the doctors are coming here with a plan to squat here or sit here for at least about 24 to 48 hours. That's the indication that we are hearing from them, that they want to protest here for a long time and conduct protests. But obviously, this is something that is in direct defiance of the Supreme Court orders. The Supreme Court's orders have to be complied with. That is something that is stated very clearly in law. So obviously this is something that this is a planned defiance of the Supreme Court's order, and that they will continue their protests here because they say that they don't feel safe, or they say that their demands have not been met, and they challenge the state government's versions on this. But it is a direct defiance of the Supreme Court order that the doctors are planning to embark on.
That's right, Saurabh. Now, we did see, after this horrific rape and murder took place, in a lot of places you had doctors protesting and striking work, but most of them in other parts of the country have all gone back to work. Doctors here, however, continue with this protest, and they've also said that the state government was providing misinformation to the Supreme Court regarding the condition of healthcare in the state. Tell us more about that.
Well, there are two things. One is this two submissions that have been made by the state government in the Supreme Court. One is on the measures they've taken as far as the order, is concerned in terms of security for, the doctors at several hospitals. The other, of course, submission is how many people have died in the last few months. Now, they've challenged these figures, which have been, produced by the government in court. But, these are figures that are in the court. It's within a process. And that is something that, of course, again, is for the court to decide on whether these are actually, true or not. But based on the submissions, it is very clear the Supreme Court has said that they've set up a task force. They are institutionalizing what they need in terms of security for doctors. However, the doctors remain unmoved, and they, of course, plan to continue their protests. There are several, reports doing the rounds that they may actually squat here for a long time. 24 to 48 hours is perhaps how long they're planning to stay here. But again, these will depend. These are fluid circumstances. Things change. But at this point, though, the police will allow them to come up to here, and then if they want to go and meet some officials, that will be allowed. But the march will have to stop here. As you can see behind me, the barricades have already been put up.